We have so many Pokemon Legends Arceus leaks, I can hardly believe it. So there's only one thing to do. Let's dive in and head for Hisui. Hello everybody, Blaine here for Bridge4 Games. The moment we've been waiting for is here. Pokemon Legends Arceus is starting to leak, and we have so much information that we have to cover. We have potential storyline leaks, we even have more information about how the game works, how many Pokemon are going to be in the game. Spoiler, it looks like there's going to be a lot more than we thought. On top of that, we even have some hints about some new Pokemon. It is just unbelievable what we have so far. So we really have to just jump in and cover this. So I'm not going to spend any more of your time, talking about this stuff. Let's go ahead and just dive right in. But before I do, I just want to take a second to ask that if you like the videos we have here on the channel, please make sure that you like them by hitting the thumbs up button. And of course, consider subscribing to the channel to become part of our amazing Pokemon community to make sure you never miss any of the awesome videos like this one because they're jam-packed with info. So, all right, first up, we need to talk about one of the, how all this came to be. So this is a person, we don't know his name. He posted earlier today that he had a copy of Pokemon Legends Arceus. Now, nobody believed him. All he said was he's got the game, nothing else. So he was communicating with people like Eclipse, people like Poryleaks, and he was helping them to get information. Now, he provided, other than just the cover shot here, which is awesome, he showed us, he actually has, the inside copy here, a picture of the cartridge, and people were matching up the serial numbers on the cartridge, and it lines up. So we have pretty much confirmation that this game is real and everything he had was authentic. Now, he showed us a back cover. It was not complete. Now, this is a more clear back version that we got from somebody else. It doesn't really talk about anything new that we didn't know before, but it does talk about how the game really wants to be more of an RPG, kind of Monster Hunter style thing than what we've had so far, which is obviously really, really cool. But now we're going to go from here into some actual screenshots from the game that do leak some, storyline details. So if for some reason, if you don't want to be spoiled, bail out now because we are really going to be jumping in. And it's pretty interesting. I was kind of jaw on the floor when I saw this. All right, so from what we can tell, this is actually one of the very first shots we're going to see in the game. Now we see this sparkling yellow, white light. It says, "Welcome to my realm, located beyond both time and space." And then it goes on to say, "I am that which humans call Arceus." So our character in the very beginning of the game is effectively meeting God, meeting Arceus in the Pokemon world. Now from there, he goes on to say, "Seek out all Pokemon and thou shalt find me once more." Now, what does this mean? Well, you're going to see in a second. It looks like the player encounters Arceus and then goes into their Pokemon adventure. In order to battle Arceus again, you're going to have to catch all of the Pokemon in Hisui. Now, for reasons we're going to get to in due time, that's going to be a bit of a process, which is going to make completing the Dex really quite an interesting task. It's amazing that we're seeing he's interacting with Arceus that quickly, and it's really going to tie into the story in a pretty major way because we go from there into this shot here. So it looks like we're waking up on the ground in Hisui, and our professor, because we haven't seen him yet, because we see his name as question marks, it says, "Are you alive, my boy?" So what it looks like is that Arceus has somehow, you've encountered him, and he either throws you in time or something like that, and you end up in the Hisui region. Now, it's looking like there may actually be time travel in this game as a central theme, and that maybe you're not actually a native Hisui region person yourself. You're somebody from the modern day sent back, and we're going to cover why that is in a second too. So as you can see here, the professor is talking about the starters. All right, he says, "Oh my, I'd completely forgotten. I had just caught up to these 3 runaway Pokemon when yet another miss." So we have skipped ahead a little bit here. I don't know what he was chasing them for, but that doesn't matter because the important thing, look at the shirt we're wearing, okay? We are clearly in our feudal Japan era, and we're wearing a modern day decorative screen, like this. We're wearing a screen t-shirt, okay? That is a modern day piece of clothing. Now, why would we be wearing that? And more importantly, does it look familiar to any of you? It should, because in Pokemon X and Y, that is our default shirt from the very beginning. It is like a red Pokeball with the blue sort of outline. Look at it here, camera 1. back to camera 2 here. As you can see, it is pretty much the same shirt. Obviously, a little more high definition here, as you would expect on the Nintendo Switch. But that being said, it's looking like, based on this, Arceus like throws you back in time into Hisui, and that's how the story kind of works, which also makes sense because that explains how we're seeing things like the Arc Phone in the past, when it's clearly not a piece of like ancient technology. You know what I mean? Like it's also really, this is pretty incredible because if this time, transporting thing is true, it really explains, on top of how all this technology is there, how we can connect those Pokemon like to the real games. Like we can have, home connectivity be tied into the story. It can be sort of explained away that you can send your old Pokemon into the new games, or the Pokemon from here into the new games. So I think this is really cool, and it is definitely a different, I wasn't really thinking they would take this direction with it. Ironically, if you want to talk about Monster Hunter, it's very familiar. It's very similar to the Monster Hunter movie, which was atrocious, but people from the modern day, like military, ended up in Monster Hunter times, and that kind of seems like that's what's happening here with Pokemon, because our modern day Pokemon trainer is ending up in feudal Japan and has to go catch all the Pokemon to battle God. So I really didn't expect them to go with this, but is our character from Kalos? Or maybe it's just a callback because they probably are going to have a lot of references to other games. I don't know, but it does not look like this kid is native to the Hisui region. People are getting their hands on these early. Now, you may be wondering, what else is coming? Well, so all the leakers now have their hands on some copies, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But this was actually something we found today earlier, and that is that people are actually selling these on eBay right now, $75, overnight shipping. Yeah, so Pokemon Legends Arceus obviously is due to be out on the 28th. It says here 24th or the 27th, so this person was actually advertising it as being there early. There were people who were actually advertising this as having free overnight shipping. So people are actually selling it early to try and get it to people early so they can do whatever they want with it, and they're making an extra, $15 on it. So yeah, this is pretty incredible that this is happening and that so many people have their hands on the games. It is remarkable. And, it means that there's going to be more leaks coming. Now, Eclipse, who has given us a lot of information so far, went ahead and actually gave us some more storyline details from what he knows so far. And there's kind of a lot to talk about in there because we have all this information even before we have the dumps and data mines, which, spoiler, that's coming too. So let's go ahead and take a look at what he has to say. All right, so Eclipse didn't have a lot of, pictures or anything to give us, but he did give us just a dump of a bunch of information about how the game kind of works. He actually had 6 different tweets about this. I know it says 5 on here, but he actually added one at the end. So first things first, he says, as expected, catching Pokemon is the fuel of the game in order to advance the story faster. Sure, you can complete the adventure without catching a lot, but it will result in a more tedious and unnecessary game style because the game is designed on opposite prerogatives. So obviously, catching Pokemon is going to be a really important part of the game, and you can't necessarily just cruise through with like 3 or 4 Mons, no muss, no fuss. Now going on, he says, if you're not a catch 'em all person, don't worry. The game uses a lot of ploys to guide your run in directions such as requests, with the objective to catch new species. So obviously we are getting some information here. The game is going to be pretty long, and there is a very heavy focus on catching, but if you don't want to catch them all, you can kind of skirt some of it, but catching is still going to be the priority. Now going on from there, we're on number 3 here. He says, with a table of over 300 different Pokemon. So in my previous Pokedex video that I posted, I'm going to link it ahead right now, we didn't have no 300. Now that was only in the Dex. So there may be more Pokemon afterward. There may be like an effective national Dex. We don't know. But it says with a tablet of over 300 different Pokemon, a 10-star based rank system for the Survey Corps, missions, requests, and surveys. How much do you think the game will last in terms of tasks? And it also says you won't get a star in the Galaxy team just by advancing a rank after completing tasks. So you really have to work to level up your Survey Corps rank. So he doesn't say exactly how long it is yet. He does say the new system is more like the old gym badges, sort of checking advancing the game, combined with research points. So that's pretty interesting because you have kind of like certain landmarks and, certain goals you have to hit before you can progress, but then there's also the research points. So he says basically completing specific missions and exceeding through research points and ranks will give you expedition stars, which is what we want because we want to level up to 10. Now he does say there are about 300 Pokemon available, over 300 Pokemon available, and there are about 300 tasks to be completed to obtain the 10th star rank. Each Pokemon can be brought to max research level 10 by completing specific dex tasks that differ with every species based on their appearance, move pool, and toughness. So it looks like not only are you going to level yourself up, you can level your Pokemon up as well, which based on, we know that the stats work a little differently in this game than they do in the past. So maybe, as you level up your character with their, different rank, you may unlock a higher base stat total or something like that. That'd be really interesting. And that may be kind of what we're seeing. We don't really know all the benefits we're going to get from leveling up our Pokemon, but it is something we're going to have to work for. And with there being so many Pokemon in the game, this is really going to be a pretty in-depth and involved project to actually complete this game 100%. All right, and they're saying on top of these plus or minus 300 research tasks, we have those specific dex tasks. And then on top of that, we have random requests from NPCs and different people you interact with. So they're extra, but they still can be mandatory to complete a good amount of the story. And then it says here, let's see, admissions for the tutorial and hard check pass. We don't know. I don't know what that is, but maybe there's like an achievement you can unlock by actually doing all the missions, which would make sense. So it looks like, guys, we're going to have over 300 mons, and we're going to have a mountain of tasks we have to do. Some are, specific to just completing your missions with the survey team. Some are, specific Pokemon related. So this game is going to have a lot to do, and it's going to be quite a bit different than what we've seen before. So we're going to be covering all that on the channel when it drops. But again, there is just so much to cover here that it is really, really exciting. Now, that's all we have in terms of gameplay and story leaks so far, but we do know one other thing. So this image that I'm showing you is fake. Okay, this is confirmed to be fake. This is what somebody claimed Hisuian, Weavile, or Sneasel's evolution is going to look like. They believe this is how you scale the mountain to, climb up high. So now it's been confirmed all over that this is fake. Even I think the guy admitted it. But Eclipse does say here, what's funny? It's not so distant from reality. So we don't know what Weavile or Sneasel looks like, the new Hisuian one, but it's reasonable to assume it kind of looks pretty close to this because he's saying it. So again, we don't know what it looks like, but again, this kind of gives you an idea of where that sort of Pokemon line is headed. And last but not least, everybody, there's a tweet from PoriLeaks. He has a copy of the game in his car. So he tweeted that with "Here we go, boys." So the games are coming. They're going to be dumped really, really soon. I mean, today, as I'm recording this, it is Tuesday the 18th. So there's going to be a lot of information dumping really, really soon. So make sure that you guys are keeping your eyes here, as well as having that notification bell clicked to make sure that you don't miss any of it, because we are going to cover all of this information as soon as it drops. So there you have it, everybody. One mountain of Pokemon information that we have gotten today through these leaks. We are not even calling them rumors anymore. These are officially into leak territory because people have their hands on the games. They're giving us information. These are leaks, and I am very happy to have them because we have a ton of information about these games. I love the sort of, meet God, go back in time angle they're taking with it, assuming that's what they're doing, because that is such a cool concept for the games. I like it how kind of like Looker, when he went through the Ultra Wormhole and he ended up in, Hoenn, and it was a different time potentially. It was really, really cool. So I love everything they've done there. That's really awesome. And, honestly, I can't wait to see what these games have in store because I'm just so excited to get my hands on them. So that being said, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're as hyped up about Pokemon Legends Arceus as I am. And if you did like the video, please make sure that you absolutely get impact that like button in the face. And of course, consider subscribing to the channel to become part of our amazing Pokemon community to make sure that you never miss any of the awesome videos like this one. That being said, everybody, I've been Blaine for Bridge4Games. We're going to be covering all of the Pokemon Legends Arceus information as it drops. Again, I don't know when we're going to have like a full data mine or how much we're going to be getting tomorrow, the next day. We're going to be getting it soon, so make sure you guys are keeping your eyes out because we're going to have that information coming very shortly. So that being said, everybody, remember that the best Pokemon games are the ones that you love to play, and the proper ways to play them are however you have the most fun. I hope each and every one of you have a happy, epic, awesome, and amazing day, and I will see you in the next video. See you around. Bye-bye.